This will probably go down as one of the worst trades in NFL history. Deshaun Watson is one of them. This has to be top 2 or 3. Multiple first-round picks. The team parting ways with the quarterback. Surrendering so much money, leaving so much money on the table. Getting hit for 2 straight years on this. And not even giving him a chance. Honestly, I think this says a lot about Sean Payton's inability to coach football anymore. I believe what a lot of us fear is happening with Bill Belichick and would happen if he goes somewhere else to head coach. I think it's happening with Sean Payton. I don't think they know what in the hell they're doing. I'm not saying Russell Wilson's the answer, but can anybody say that he was given a fair shake? Can anybody say that when this man was actually starting to cook again, Russell started to cook again, his team, his coach, his organization went to him and they should be ashamed of themselves and they should be penalized. They should have a draft pick taken away. The Denver Broncos should have a first rounder taken away for the despicable situation that unfolded last season when they went to Russell Wilson and said, you take away your injury clause or we're benching you. They should have a draft pick revoked. This organization doesn't know what the hell they're doing. This is the worst trade aside from Deshaun Watson that I can think of. Worst contract situation aside from Deshaun Watson I can think of. And the Denver Broncos are heading downward. Downward facing dog. This is not going to be a good couple years for the Denver Bronco fans. And I feel bad for the fans. I'm not mad at the fans. The fans have a home here. My door's open. Post June 1 release, what's it mean? Who can sign him right away? Who might look to sign him right away? What do all the numbers look like? Mike Evans' 2-year deal. Whole bunch of other news, phone calls, the Fantasy Football Show, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news
From the
breaks.
FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
This is kind of like, it's just crazy what has transpired here in Denver, throughout the course of the last couple of years with this situation. Unbelievable when you think about how badly Denver and Peyton screwed this up. Like, you couldn't have made a worse situation out of something that didn't even necessarily need to unfold this way. And for people to say Russell Wilson's garbage, that's fine if that's your take. I'm not saying he's a top 5 quarterback by any means, but he started to cook last year. And Peyton and the brass went to him and said, you take away your injury clause. Oh, by the way, great game. You're looking great. God, you're cooking. All the announcers are saying Russell's back. I think people were taking it too far and getting carried away. We all know Russ is not really back. Mr. Unlimited is kind of limited in some capacities, but this guy does have talent. He has a teardrop that can compete with anybody's. His touch on the football is amazing. Seems a little cuckoo up here when he gives high fives to imaginary people. The way he practices is weird. He talks to imaginary people in a huddle. I don't understand any of that, to be honest with you. I'm in a studio all day by myself, and I don't talk to imaginary people. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I do. Hey, Smitty. Hey, Smitty. Okay, maybe he's all right there. Forget what I just said there. Russell Wilson started to kind of cook. The kitchen was heating up a little bit. The burner was on. It's on medium to medium warm. And his coaching staff went to him and said, go to the bench unless you redo and take away your injury clause, which is absolutely illegal. It's not legal. And why the Denver Broncos aren't penalized for that, it's beyond me. So let's break this down. Post June 1 release, the details on this are actually pretty solid when you really look at it. He can start talking and communicating with teams now. He does not have to wait until later. This is something that's happening now. He's being designated a post June 1 release, but he's being released. $39 million fully guaranteed to Russell Wilson this year, which means, and this is the most important thing, Bob, file on in, the next team that can bring him in is going to pay him roughly $1 million. If the Atlanta Falcons want this guy as their starting quarterback, $39 million is getting paid by the Denver Broncos. He's coming over for $1 million. $1 million, and you could have this man signal calling your team in 2024. That might arguably make him the most sought-after quarterback in free agency right now, over Kirk Cousins. You can get Russ Wilson for $1 million right now to quarterback your team. He's getting paid $39 million this year by the Denver Broncos. That might have leapfrogged, in a way, Kirk Cousins in terms of teams' availability with money and all that. And he's not coming off an Achilles tear. I know everybody thinks Kirk Cousins is the only one. We got to bring him in. He's the hot commodity. Guess who's back? Back again. Russie's back. Tell a friend. He's going to cook in someone's kitchen, maybe not on high, but on medium, and you put him in there with London. Look what he did with Cortland Sutton. You put him in there with Bijan, he'll be fine. Kyle Pitts will catch. This team would be pretty good. I don't think Dangerous Russ is an elite top 5 quarterback. No one's saying he is, but at $1 million, I've seen worse. This would be a huge, massive upgrade. I think this was a debacle how this got handled. I think Russell Wilson was handed an unfair hand. Let's keep breaking down the numbers, and we'll go to the phone lines and see what you guys think. Broncos release Russell Wilson, worst trade ever. I say top 2 or 3 ever. Post June 1 release, $39 million fully guaranteed, paid by the Denver Broncos to Russell Wilson, meaning he plays for $1 million in 2024 for any team that brings him in. $35 million cap hit to the Denver Broncos this year. Something around $50 million roughly in 2025 to the Denver Broncos. Sinking ship. You hear the sound of that? That's a submersible going straight down to the Titanic. This is something that's sinking faster than anything you've seen in your entire life. This Denver Bronco team getting hit massively. Your boy Russell Wilson is going to get a chance. Where does he get a chance? I don't know. I've got a couple graphics here on this top left screen here. You got Atlanta Falcons. They're obviously in play. You've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're very much going to be in play. This is a kind of a perfect fit for Pittsburgh. Plus, you get them for $1 million. When you really think about it, like Seattle might pick up the phone and go, yeah, hey, Russ, this is you. Yeah, hey, what's going on, pal? Yeah, I wasn't here when it all unfolded. We'd kind of like to get you back here in Seattle, my guy. Yeah, $1 million. We heard about it. $1 million. You come in, compete for the starting job with Gino right away. Yeah, you want to do it? Okay, move the bunk beds together. Room for activities. Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know if we'll have time, but get on over here, Russ. We appreciate you. Let's cook, baby. Seattle, down for it. Who knows? I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying, why not? Why not? Atlanta Falcons, pick up the phone. Hey, we got a guy named Bijan that could be the number 1 pass-catching running back in the National Football League. We've got Kyle Pitts, baby. No one's been able to unlock this guy. Russ, can you throw a couple teardrops into the end zone for him? You think so? Okay, great. London Gold is looking for a raindrop quarterback, Russ. Come on over, try out. Pittsburgh Steelers, they don't mind spending less money on the quarterback position, given they kind of want to play around with Kenny Pickett going back into the lineup. The Las Vegas Raiders got O'Connell. They kind of want to toy around with the idea of maybe seeing if O'Connell can be the guy. O'Connell and Russ Wilson. Geno Smith, Russ Wilson. Nobody, because don't count Ritter or any of those guys, Russ Wilson. These are probably, I would say, the lead dog candidates just off the top of my head. Now, some might say there's rumors that they don't want, Washington's not going to want to. Washington should take a look at it. Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 2. Russell Wilson Jr. for $1 million. You're paying him $1 million at quarterback. Marvin Harrison Jr. in New England at number 3. You pay Russell Wilson $1 million to be your quarterback. New York Giants, Russell Wilson for $1 million. Why not? Unseat Danny Dimes, one of the worst contracts in NFL history. Yeah, go sit there. Go sit behind him. There's so many teams. Russell Wilson, here's my prediction. Las Vegas too. Russell Wilson lands on one of these teams that's drafting inside the top 13. Russell Wilson will be quarterbacking for either the Minnesota Vikings, either the Las Vegas Raiders, either the Atlanta Falcons, the New York Giants, the New England Patriots, the Washington Commanders. Maybe Seattle, like I said, gets back involved. I think Pittsburgh might be obviously in play, but I think somehow, some way, this guy finds himself onto one of these rosters inside the top 13. If not, it is Pittsburgh. But that's how I feel. If I was Miami Mike, I would say bring him over too. I don't know what's Miami Mike. Why does he love Tua Tagovailoa so much? What's he see in Tua that's long-term on any level? Bring in Russell Wilson. Let Tua and Russ cook together potentially. You got to go after Russell Wilson if you're any of these teams with semi-questionable situations walking into the 2024 NFL season, our fantasy football season. Numbers are on the screen. Let's read what the team had to say on this debacle, this absolute debacle. Here, let me translate this as I read it. We spoke with Russell today to inform him of his release, and after the start of the new league year, on behalf of the Broncos, we would like to thank Russell for his contributions and dedication to our team and community, while wishing him the best as he continues his career. What they mean to say on this is, hey, sorry, Russ, we tried to cheat you out of your injury clause. Sorry, Russ, while you started to get back into the oven, cooking on medium, not high, but on medium, looking pretty good. We're sorry we came to you and asked you to sacrifice your family, your health, and everything that you've earned in your contract so that we could take away your injury clause because we don't believe in you. Yeah, sorry about that. As we move forward, we are focused on building the strongest team possible for the 2024 season and beyond. Let me translate that for you. That means basically, what we're trying to do is make some sort of remnants of a team that can compete on any sort of level, maybe win 4 or 5 games, because for the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to be winning 4, 5, 6 games a season because our stupid decisions of putting ourselves in cap hell, giving up on a quarterback that's actually pretty decent, is going to maybe make us not sell as many tickets. So we're here to say, please, overlook this. We're going to build a conglomerate squad here, regardless of being in cap hell. So please hang tight. Please hang tight. Don't give up on us. Don't give up on us. We're doing the best we can. As we move forward, we're focused on building the strongest team possible. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not building shit because you screw up everything, Denver. You got nothing. This one right here, 2024, $39 million cash going to Russell, as I said earlier, in this top line, 2024, $35 million cap hit, 2025, zero cash going to Russ, but 49.6 mil, that's that $50 million cap hit. 2026, he's off the books. $255 million salary cap makes this pill go down a little easier. So the rise in salary cap, that is from, I believe, ESPN, right? And then here's the other piece of news here. This was the initial report by Rappaport saying sources, the Broncos are moving on from Russell Wilson, closing a tough chapter for the team and allowing Coach Sean Payton and Russell Wilson to start off fresh. Wilson is available to a team needing a starter. Denver avoids an extra $37 million fully guaranteed now. So they saved $37 million or so, $37 million by making this move now, I suppose. You could look at it that way. Or you could say, we screwed the pooch and the team is absolutely going downhill from here. This is an absolute travesty. This is an absolute disgusting debacle. And I'm ashamed that the Denver Broncos are even in the NFL right now, given the fact that they asked this man to take away his injury clause or they're benching him. And I'm ashamed of the NFL for not disciplining the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton and the brass in Denver for asking this man to take away his injury clause or they would bench him. Sounds like extortion, sounds illegal. I believe it is. The NFLPA got involved, attorneys were getting involved, and the NFL had to shut it down. And then what did Sean Payton do? Called Russell Wilson back into his office. I believe this was like around week 8, 9, 10 or something. Russ knocks on the door. Hey, Coach, you wanted to see me again after you just insulted me and asked me to sacrifice my family, my money, my hard-earned cash and contract? Yeah, this is This is Sean Payton. Sit down, Russ. I wanted to just say, can we forget the conversation ever happened? And that's almost word for word what we're being told was what Sean Payton said the next day after the NFL said, shut it down. And so Sean goes, can we pretend that that conversation didn't happen? Let's move forward. Go ahead and go out there and cook, Russ. And Russ has got to sit in this environment where his team doesn't want him, his coach doesn't want him. They're so worried about him getting hurt, they'd be stuck with him. How are you supposed to play confident football with that kind of cloud over your head? Let's give Russ a chance. Let's put Russ in Seattle. Let's put Russ, let him be back there. Let's put him in Seattle. Let's put him in Pittsburgh. Let's put him in Atlanta. Let's put him in Washington with Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's put him in New England with Marvin Harrison Jr. I want nothing more at this point, even though Russell Wilson's not one of my favorite quarterbacks by any means. He kind of rubs me the wrong way. Mr. Unlimited kind of annoys the hell out of me, to be quite frank. I'm rooting for Russell Wilson right now because I want Denver to watch him go and flourish somewhere. And I want Denver, who should be disciplined for trying to circumvent contracts and do something illegal that's extorting to a player. And I want New England to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and have Russell Wilson. I want Washington to do the same thing. I want Atlanta to bring him in. I want him to shine. Russell Wilson, we're sending you to the moon just because of the way you've been treated by your organization. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. We got a few more pieces of news to throw on screen here. Caleb Williams is expected to meet with the Bears after his pro day. Surprise, surprise. Breaking news. Such important news that it cracked NBC Sports. Kirk Cousins speaking on the Pat McAfee show. Adam Schefter said maybe Washington jumps in to try and sign Kirk Cousins this offseason. Wouldn't be surprising if they got into the Kirk Cousins race. I'm telling you, Russell Wilson just leapfrogged Kirk Cousins maybe in value because he's $1 million. Because the team, the Denver Broncos, is paying him $39 million this year. The only amount of money he's going to cost a club to bring him in this year is $1 million. Russell Wilson on $1 million. Like, think about what that means. If Russell Wilson goes into Atlanta, and now they can draft Rome Odunze at number 8. Now they can use money on all other kinds of things. Russell Wilson, Rome Odunze, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, a defense that's pretty stout. This is a pretty awesome situation for any team that takes advantage of Russell Wilson, and they figure out a way to, work with whatever he's dealing with these imaginary friends. Past that, that's the only big problem I have with Dak with Russ. Here's a Dak piece of news. Dak Prescott, he says he's definitely confident about the possibility of getting a new contract this offseason. This is going to be the thing we hear every single year. Dak Prescott, he's great, he plays great during the season, then he craps the bed during the playoffs, and then they say, is he the problem? Should we get rid of Dak? Should we move around Dak? Let's just extend Dak. Let's extend Dak. Is he the problem? No? Okay, let's extend him. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it necessarily, but it's like the conclusions that people come to. It's one conclusion. He's not a problem. Okay, let's give him the biggest contract known to man. Let's maybe go down the road. Danny Dimes, he's obviously better than Danny Dimes. Let's go down the road to Russell Wilson. Okay, he's obviously better than Russell Wilson. But, hey, let's just throw a bunch of money at somebody we are actually questioning a little bit, or we're wondering if it's a good fit. We can't seem to get over that hump. Let's sign him to a $300, $400 million contract real quickly and ink that up. Unbelievable. Phone lines are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I'll tell you, man. I'll tell you, these Denver Broncos, these fans, I wonder what the Denver fans really think. Vampy says we are cursed with Dak. Hey, Vamp, I'm so glad to see you. We haven't seen you in a while. I will say, Vampy, that you're better off than most. I mean, a lot of teams would kill to be choking in the playoffs year after year to just get there and be a playoff contending team every year, to have the kind of offense you had, to have CeeDee Lamb. I know that doesn't help, but there are a ton of teams. There are about 25 teams that wish they were in your shoes. You know what I mean? And on top of that, you bring in a Derrick Henry or you bring in a Saquon Barkley this coming off season, and maybe you get over that hump and win and go to a Final Four territory. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're in a championship game instead of losing earlier on. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's capable. And could you win a Super Bowl with a Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley? I think you might be able to. I think it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm very interested to hear what a couple. Please no Russell Wilson to Atlanta. Got Bijan in a keeper league, and I don't want this guy on my rain on your parade. Well, I mean, Nissan, I'd rather have Penix Jr., to be honest with you. But you got to ask yourself, okay, that's a separate question. Russell Wilson, Penix Jr., who's better? But if you get Russell Wilson and Rome Odunze, is it better? You know, that's the dilemma. That's the question we got to ask. I'm not saying yes or no. I think the better answer is Fields and Odunze. So you trade for Fields using two second rounders. I'd even give a conditional first rounder. I know people think that's crazy, overpaying. I don't care. Conditional meaning he's earned it. If you make a conditional first rounder, listen to what I'm saying, Bob. Hey, Clifford, keyboard Clifford, stop typing in cap letters right now. Just listen before you hit enter and send your little message, your little tough guy message. If it's conditional, he earned it. You set up a second rounder and a conditional pick. If you make it, you go to a championship game. He hits certain stat levels that are just, if he does it, he's elite. If Fields hits these numbers, then we're glad to give up a first rounder because we're in the final 4, 5, 6 teams right away out of the gate in year one. Like, conditional means conditional. You're not sad later on giving up the conditional pick. It's well earned. What's up, Travis? You're live.
I think I understand the frustration with Russell Wilson and the doubt, but you have to look at each situation compared to what they have now, like you were just saying. You know, like if it's Russ or, you know, Desmond Ridder, he's way better for that offense in the Falcons. And, you know, even the Patriots, I'd take him if that means they draft Marvin Harrison as well, you know. So you kind of have to look at that. And then I don't know what you think, but this, to me, hurts the market for Fields a little bit because there will be teams that want him over Fields.
It does. I know a lot of people have said stuff like that. Like the rookie class is hurting Fields' market. It all is true. But when you look at all these teams that need QBs, and you say to yourself, okay, yeah, I mean, Cousins and Russell Wilson, once they consume two of these spots, there's still a ton of teams that need a quarterback. The thing I would say about Cousins, Russell Wilson, and Fields, and the advantage they have, is that these teams don't know what rookie they can get or if they'll fall. And so you're gonna be playing a little preemptive scaredy cat game when you're talking about grabbing one of these quarterbacks and then maybe foregoing the thought of, oh, what if JJM lands in here? What if Penix Jr. does fall to 13 or 14, or you're the Seahawks at 16 with his offensive coordinator from Washington? You want to pair him back up to match made in heaven. Seattle and Penix would be fantastic. But if like you don't know for certain you're going to get him, Seattle might make a play for Cousins, might make a play for Fields, might make a play. Or they just say, you know what, we're the one team that has Geno, and if we get Penix, we get him. If we don't, we roll with Geno. So they're in the position to where they can do that. Other teams can't. Minnesota, if they don't have Cousins, they can't assume they're getting, you know, the quarterback they absolutely want at 11. They'll probably get one of them, and if they're okay with all 5 on the board, you know, then they might be okay. But I don't know that I don't know that I truly believe these teams will all take a gamble. It's going to go quarterback.
No.
Then there's 2 quarterbacks left essentially, and it's like, you know, if the Giants pass and the Atlanta Falcons already bring in somebody, then Minnesota feels good. Let's say Atlanta signs Russell Wilson. Now Minnesota is going to be like, okay, we don't need Fields because we're definitely going to see Penix Jr. or Bo Nix probably. And if not, we're still going to work on cuts. So we're okay. You know what I mean? So the lay of the land will definitely change. But there are a lot of teams that need QBs. But yeah, who knows? I mean, what if like Lamar, we don't hear a single peep? Nobody goes after Fields. Like, stranger things have happened, and Lamar Jackson not being even attempted to be grabbed for those 2 first-rounders last year on the franchise tag was astonishing. It was shocking. It was, change my drawers type of shocking. I couldn't believe it, and I think I was proven right. And people could say Lamar Jackson crapped the bed and didn't win a suit, like whatever you want. He had an unbelievably successful season, so everyone just shut their trap on that.
Yeah, MVP.
Yeah. So like
you give up 2 first rounds for the MVP.
Mm-hmm. So I think Fields could have less of a market than I believe he should. I don't make the rules. I don't make the logic, and I'm not the one making the decisions. But if it was me, I would have surrendered 3 first-rounders for Lamar Jackson last year. And if I was the Atlanta Falcons, I would have done that. And, God, I don't know if Arthur Smith would have ruined him, but I would have fired Arthur Smith. If I was in charge of Atlanta, I would have fired Arthur Smith. I would have traded for Lamar, and he only cost 2 first-rounders. I'm just saying I would have given up the 3. Mm-hmm. If he was the higher tender, I would have given up whatever I had to get Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson would have made the Atlanta Falcons a playoff contending monster. And Fields can do that too. Fields is lesser than Lamar, but he's still got a lot of upside, and we don't know what his ceiling really is. Kirk Cousins is nice, but I've got London, I've got Kyle Pitts, I've got Bijan Robinson, I've got a young team. I don't really want Cousins there. I would take him, but I'd rather have Penix Jr. or Bo Nix over Cousins if I'm Atlanta. Just because I believe in those 2 quarterbacks so much, I believe that's great. But the problem is then you get back to this dilemma where it's like, would you rather have one of those quarterbacks and get Rome Odunze? Like, that's the part that, like, you struggle with. It's like Penix Jr. If Penix Jr. is the next top 7 quarterback, if he's the next Stroud, let's say Penix Jr. or Bo Nix could be as good as Stroud. And I don't think it's that out of the realm of possibility. It's not highly likely, but it's certainly he's capable, or being a maybe notch below. Just a little notch below, but a playoff contending type of quarterback. Definitely the kind of quarterback that could win a Super Bowl. Maybe better than Goff. Better than Goff, but a little bit lesser than Stroud. That's an awesome quarterback. So if you believe Penix Jr. and Bo Nix could be that, maybe it is worth letting Odunze go. Go grab one of these second-round wide receivers like Leggett, and you go Penix Jr. Leggett. But if you believe Odunze is the next Jamar Chase, you do like Russell Wilson or Fields enough, then it is better to go after the older veteran, not the rookie QB, because you get Rome Odunze. There's 100 ways to look at it. There's no right or wrong answer.
And I think there will be still, I don't know, at the end of the day, we might not hear about them all, but I think 4 or 5 teams that are interested in Fields, but they're going to be more hesitant to give something up as long as Wilson's out there, which that could just mean Fields gets traded a little later. But my question also was, could the team sign Wilson for $1 million and then still go draft a guy? Since they don't, or would that be too?
I don't think that would be smart.
Frowned upon, because it's kind of being crappy to Wilson. Bring
I don't think you want to
be your quarterback, and
you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that. Probably wouldn't happen because of that. Yeah,
you do that. You're
financially it makes sense, but it's like not a good tone to set for your team.
Yeah, you do that. You're playing with fire. That'd be a stupid move to be like, hey, Russ, come in. I know you didn't have good confidence. Your team didn't believe in you. Yeah, go ahead. We're bringing you in. Okay, let's draft a quarterback in the first round. Like, that would be a debacle. Could it happen? Sure, but it'd be a stupid move. I don't fully know what's going to happen here. I think if I had to guess, first of all, the most likely landing spots based on, I think. I want to put Pittsburgh in here. I know I said that there's a strong chance he lands in one of these teams in the top 13.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think Pittsburgh's a good shot.
Yeah, I think including Pittsburgh. So one of these teams in the top 13 and Pittsburgh. It's one of those teams. It's one. I don't think it's going to. Seattle's in the conversation in my mind only. We haven't heard a peep out of Seattle. But without Pete Carroll there, even though Pete Carroll was a Russell Wilson guy, I just wonder if he's an option. You know, I wonder if you would look at that. He's $1 million. Why would you look at it? You know, he knows he probably would be open to even having the conversation. What about going back to Seattle? You know, these conversations, these things happen. They've happened in the past. I don't know about a quarterback with his, you know, that significant of a name at the QB position that I can recall, but it definitely happens with wide receivers sometimes. But I think Pittsburgh would be smart to bring him in. I think that would be a good spot if we're talking about Fields and Penix Jr. and all these guys we want to be in good landing spots. Pittsburgh's kind of our saving grace to take one of these quarterbacks, the free agent quarterbacks, off the board, because they're kind of not a place we want anyway for a QB. So I'd say Pittsburgh's our probably our goal. Like, what we want is Pittsburgh so that we can make sure Fields goes to either Atlanta, Minnesota, or Seattle, or Washington, or New England, or something like that. The moment, as you said, you know, let's say Russell Wilson goes to one of these other teams, that could limit Russ a bit. And what we also don't want is Chicago backing out of a trade and keeping Fields and ruining them. So, like, I'm kind of like, man, this could really jack things up in some respects, but then Pittsburgh can save the day by coming in and grabbing him.
I could easily see Pittsburgh or Vegas going after him.
Yeah, it's one of these teams, Atlanta through Vegas. You know, whether it's Minnesota.
I will say, though, you're going to hear a lot on the Patriots because I'm telling you, all they talk about here is, quote unquote, get a stopgap guy. If you can't get Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams, get a stopgap guy. People are kind of iffy on Drake.
And get Marvin. Are you guys looking at Marvin? Probably, I would imagine.
I would assume so. That's what you hear people talk about, and I mean, I could live with that, but it doesn't solve your problem long term at quarterback. But it gives you a couple of years anyway.
Giants are in play. Matto says, I definitely think it could, happen. All these teams are in play. I think, like I said in my open, when he costs $1 million, every team should be looking at him.
Right.
Every team. You know, like, even if I was the Indianapolis Colts and I've got AR5, I'm not worried about AR5's confidence with Russ over his shoulder. I'd bring in Russell Wilson. What if AR5 goes down? I got myself an amazing backup quarterback. I trust my starting quarterback enough to not feel that pressure. You know who would be kind of interesting that we haven't mentioned or I haven't even seen? New York Jets. But the only thing is,
just crept into my mind. But
the only thing is to sell him. Like, this is if Russ doesn't have a market. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to choose a starting job over a backup job. Right. But the thing you could sell him on New York is like, this is your team as soon as Aaron Rodgers is done. I don't know, like that. I just don't think there's enough allure when you have potentially these starting lineup openings, and he's gonna, like, why would he take a backup job?
Yeah.
But if he does struggle to get what he wants, it would be smart of him to go to the right location that gives him a path. And I'm talking a path. EW22 says Russ to the 49ers. No. He's not going to go somewhere where there's not a path. The path has to be, again, if I was Indy, I'd try, but he's not gonna come to Indy. So if I was the Niners, would I try? Sure, but he's not coming to the Niners. He's not coming to Indy. He's not coming to the Niners. He's not coming anywhere where there's no path because he's got openings. But, like, New York's interesting because, like, is Aaron Rodgers gonna even be good his second year from this year? Like, will he be? Like, I could see, if I was trying to be strategic and smart, I'd almost say, like, the Jets, you know, you're going to get in there at some point. Aaron Rodgers is not going to stay healthy for 2 straight years. We're holding our breath that he does it for 1. And once Russ goes in, it's his team. I don't know. I think that would be better than New York. That would be. I'd rather be in that situation than in New York. You know, I'd rather be in that situation than in. I don't know. Like, honestly, under Arthur Smith, I don't want to be under Arthur Smith. I don't want to be there. Russ to Tampa Bay. No, it sounds like they're bringing in.
They must be if they signed Evans.
Smitty, have you cooled down on your Fields to Atlanta? No. I want Fields to Atlanta bad, but if they don't get him, I want Penix Jr. or Bo Nix. But no, Atlanta's. A couple people tried to say, Smitty, in my comments, I told you Atlanta is not bringing in Fields. Didn't you hear all the reports that that's not on anymore? It's like, bro, you don't even know what you're talking about. Nothing's on or off. This is all smoke season anyway. We're making educated guesses in a lot of these, with these news pieces. But Falcons are not out on Fields. You can't even get them yet. So like, there's nothing out there. No one's telegraphing nothing right now.
The Giants are really interesting because they could stay at pick 6 and take one of the receivers. And then next year they have after this season they have the out with Daniel Jones. I mean, that could be a nice turnaround for them possibly. Mm-hmm. And Wilson goes and works with Dayball.
Yeah. I think Russ back in Seattle is what I think. I think it's interesting. As I said earlier, I think it would be something that like people would be like, he's not going back. You don't know what things have changed. Atlanta is drafting Fields going to. Atlanta is drafting Fields going to Pitt. I think you mean a comma there, Birds. You got to use some punctuation, man. Atlanta is drafting a quarterback, comma. Fields going to Pittsburgh. Okay, thank you, Birds. I don't think that's crazy at all. I mean, it's certainly a possibility. It's one of the.
Atlanta. Sorry.
I was just telling him it's definitely one of the possibilities.
I still think if Atlanta wants Cousins, I think he'll be there. I think he might be kind of ready to move on as well if he gets some money. Hard to say though.
Yeah, I think we need to. It's hard to say it's a foregone conclusion though, like some people say, like because I mean he's not even. We don't even know how healthy he is. We know he's probably doing pretty damn well. We've seen him on the tennis court. Cut it, but that's what we've seen. We've seen Cousins on a tennis court aggressively cutting back and throwing some footballs. But I mean, as I said, like there's so many compensation injuries too that come back from an Achilles and an ACL with older players too. Like he could rupture his other Achilles tendon in this process. He's got to get through it all before I think a team's throwing freaking bank at him. And again, if I'm the Falcons, I don't want Cousins over Penix Jr. or Bo Nix.
I wouldn't either.
I just don't know if I want the stopgap measure in a Dunze and then attack quarterback later. The thing is, you just got to wait till the pro days. And unfortunately, Russ could get signed somewhere or whatever. But you got to wait until the pro days because what if Penix Jr. goes out and makes you feel like this is the next Stroud? Because is Stroud worth letting a Dunze go? Yes. Is Stroud worth letting almost anybody go? Especially if you're Atlanta, you already have London, Pitts, Bijan, and a defense. You don't need a Dunze, even though you want him. If Penix Jr. or Bo Nix is the next Stroud, you have to go down that road. You'll never get another opportunity like that in another 2 decades. So you just have to pencil it out. Now I know a lot of people are going, what about Caleb? What about Drake May? Smitty, what are you talking about? Those aren't my guys. My guys are Penix Jr. and Bo Nix. After JD5, who's my ultimate guy, higher than anybody on JD5. I have proof and evidence of it right here called the Saturn Men list.
The Saturn Men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
The Moon Men.
And Penix Jr. on the Moon Men list. These guys were, I forget when in January, like the beginning of January. I think it was like January 1 or January 2. I put either both of them on there or one of them on there. They're the first. I think they were the first two. I think I did it because of the national championship game approaching.
Yeah.
I think I did it because I didn't, all these guys were declaring and I didn't want the news to get ahead or anything. And so I dropped my first two predictions on that big list. There's Moon Men, Mars Men, Saturn Men. They're loaded. Those are my 2 first drops, Penix Jr. and JD5. And they're still, after the combine, obviously Penix Jr. is the only one that participated, but they're my 1 and 2. They're my 1 and 2. It hasn't wavered. Those are the 2 guys I put on the list. I didn't put any other quarterback on there. Bo Nix might be on there soon. And I'll put them both on there, and they stayed on there. Those are the monster quarterbacks. I love Penix Jr. His medicals passed it with flying colors. He went out and crushed the combine. He probably had the first best combine in 2024. So he improved his draft stock, I think, the most. And I just can't wait for Penix Jr. to just light the world on fire. And we're going to take away Penix Jr. cards like clockwork this entire offseason for people that doubt him. No, as we said on the Dynasty channel, no Penix for you. No Penix for you. Take away your Penix card.
Yeah, you did your top 5 rookie quarterbacks on January 5th, and you had Daniels before that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So it was, right? First of the year, turn of the year.
I was late today because I bought a truck earlier. Sick Nasty, congratulations. You and I both, pal.
Nice.
You and I both. I upgraded the whip. I got it all over my Instagram, but I've been obsessed with it. I've been obsessed with upgrading little things
good.
here and there. Like even buying I did everything the very cheap way. Upgraded. I bought not the lowest stock model 4Runner, but I took the the SR Premium. There's an SR5 and an SR5 Premium, and then there's the higher levels. I bought the lowest level, but the premium version of it because I wanted like the leather and everything, and the heated seats and all that. And then I started to upgrade it, and instead of buying a $55,000 4Runner, I built it with like a couple $1,000s on top of the base model. On top of the fact that they're like giving them away because the 2025s are coming, which worried me because I'm afraid I'm going to love the new design. It's a ground floor up design. And the new engines, new everything, but the engines are 4-cylinder. This one's 6. So I ended up with very, very small amount of money at the end of the day, making this into an absolute, $55,000 looking 4Runner that I bought for like $39 out the door on the actual, pricing, the base model price, and just built this thing up, and it looks like a monster. So I'm in love with it, and it's my only outlet. Like I really just work all day long. I just work. I don't really splurge on anything unless it's in the office type of thing. And I have, upgraded this sucker, over the course of the show. But I put everything into the business. I need something as an outlet. And so like this has become that. I'm not putting like show decals all over it or anything. This is like my home away from the office. And so I've been obsessed with it. Guys, file in. Call into the phone line. 10K off the ticket price, says Sick Nasty. Good job. What was your vehicle did you get? Appreciate you, pal. Dial in, guys. We'd like to couple more people on the phone line here. And let's discuss. And then for anybody who doesn't know, Mike Evans signed a 2-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And tough to know how he's going to play at the age of 31. He turns 31 before the season starts. Why do you need heated seats in Phoenix? Believe it or not, Lupo, it doesn't stay 120 degrees in Phoenix year round. It actually does get to the point where your windshield's frozen when you go out. And believe it, I know people think it's all cactuses and desert, and that you literally got a tumbleweed. There's a tumbleweed went right by my office. There actually is snow in Arizona. What'd you say?
You can freeze to death in the desert at night.
Yeah. Everyone thinks Phoenix. Like last night, I had to wear a sweater when I was doing my live stream, or a hoodie. I had a hoodie on. It was 50, something degrees. I was it's getting warmer now, but like you're sitting out there in the 50-degree weather, doing a live stream in a shorts and a t-shirt. You're gonna get cold, no matter if you love the cold or not. It gets down to like 30 degrees, 28 degrees, whatever. Heated seats. It's got a heated steering wheel as well. Call in, guys. We want more people on the phone line here. Let's discuss what we're talking about here. MHJ would be ideal. Trade back at the 1.2, edge at 1.9. You're talking about the Chicago Bears. I mean, yeah, if Poles is smart, which he's not apparently, because he signed an OC, brought in an OC I don't believe in. Maybe I'm wrong on it, but I don't think Shane Waldron's the man for the job. So no matter what happens, I don't like what goes on here. But if you were to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. at 2, allow Washington to get Caleb at 1, because that's what Kingsbury probably really wants. And then you might even move down again to New England and get them JD 5. And then you take Marvin Harrison Jr. You probably get a first rounder somehow out of both those moves at the end of the day. You draft Marvin Harrison Jr. You have some sort of maybe close to an additional first rounder because of all that trading. And now you can draft Rome Odunze at 9. Like, that would be the smartest way to navigate. Keep Fields, or not. Yeah, I'm sorry, not Marvin Harrison Jr. now, or no Odunze, because you got Marvin Harrison Jr. You if you didn't get Marvin Harrison Jr. here, you would take Odunze there. But you could draft 100 different pieces that you need for Chicago with the 9 pick. Can you imagine though, Odunze and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Fields and DJ Moore? Like, it's not that crazy.
That'd be nice.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would do it. I'd probably do it. I'd do it. I'm sorry. I'd do it. I'd Smitty.
You've just been...
Smitty, so good you're not the GM. Well, good, Bob. You can take your so good, I'm glad you're not the GM, and shove it. Nobody wants Russell non-cooking. Okay, Jonathan. If he goes to the... Look, Russ is 100,000 times better upgrade than Ritter. I agree he's not my number one choice, Jonathan, but like...
in context, though,
Yeah, and if you're a true... I don't see my Falcons getting him. Nobody wants Russell Wilson. If he goes to the Falcons, I'll legit give up on the Falcons. It doesn't sound like a diehard fan to me, Jonathan. You get your commitment in order there, pal.
Revoke that Bijan card. Keeps it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna take away your Ritter card. Excited for the season of saying Penix. Ryan, appreciate you dropping your 16-month membership. We'll have a bunch of, you have just been dominated by Penix. We'll have a ton of different animations for that. You can bet your bottom dollar. I'm gonna take away. I'm gonna give people Ritter cards. Jonathan, you now have a Ritter card. I don't want it. You're gonna have it. Put it in your wallet.
That's a better.
Put it in your wallet. You're gonna hold it. You're now a Ritter card owner. During the next end of world scenario, they're gonna have barricades up. The military is gonna be like checking IDs and taking temperatures and letting people through the barricades, and they're gonna pull out his wallet and they're like, "I've got a Ritter card." What? He's got the Ritter. What is that? Sounds like a disease. Don't let him through. Don't let him through. It's got some sort of Arthur Smith antibodies in it. So just to recap for anybody, Russell Wilson post June 1 release, 39 million fully guaranteed to Russ this year, which is absolute madness. He's getting paid so much money just to go to another team. What a pathetic organization right now. If you're a Denver Bronco fan, you got to be disgusted with yourself. Can you imagine paying somebody $39 million to work at another company? You're paying him $39 million to go work for somebody else. And how he's not the hottest commodity right now. He is. As much as Jonathan doesn't think so, he is the top commodity at quarterback right now because he costs $1 million. He will cost $1 million in 2024. He's being paid $39 million by the enemy.
What I don't get, and maybe this speaks to Sean Payton being over the hill, is one of two things had to happen. He either thought he could turn around Russell Wilson, or he thought he'd be able to get rid of Russell Wilson, and just move on without. Now maybe he still thinks that, so maybe I'm mistaken, and he just thinks, okay, I can build something if I draft a QB and build around that QB with a lesser contract. But the whole situation is just kind of baffling to me.
Yeah, I mean, people could say, "Oh, that wasn't his guy," and now he gets a chance. But again, what you just said is the way I think about it. Like, he decided to do this. He's the one that assessed the situation and said, "Hey, I'm going to come in and make this situation what this." It's kind of crazy to me. Sean Payton, I lost a lot of respect for everybody involved in that situation when they went to Russell Wilson and asked him to take away his injury clause or their benching. It's one thing to go to somebody and say, "Hey," I think people are misunderstanding the difference. It's one thing to go, "Hey, Russ, sit down for a second." Yeah, what, Sean? What can I do for you?
Is there any way you could take away your injury clause?
No, I don't want to.
Okay, we just thought we'd ask. Thanks, Russ.
That's totally different. What they did is said,
"Hey, Russ, if you don't take away your injury clause, even though you're actually doing well right now, we're benching you and ruining your career and absolutely manipulating and doing something that's illegal and extorting you. We will bury you if you don't take your injury clause away. You're going straight to the bench, which affects your next job. No one's going to go near you. You got benched by us. You're a backup quarterback, and we're going to bury you. Take away your injury clause or you're benched."
That's illegal. The NFL said so. Once they found out that that's what was going on, the NFLPA found out, attorneys found out, they should be ashamed of themselves. And the fact that the NFL has done nothing in terms of discipline is beyond me. How is that any different at the end of the day than paying a coach to lose games? It's very different in terms of what's being done, the action, but how is it any less bad or illegal? Because if you're going to actually throw games because you're worried about the contract and the money and things that you could be tied to, how is that any better? You're literally throwing games based on you wanting someone to rescind an injury guarantee that's going to pay a boatload of money to the player. How is that not an offense that requires losing draft picks? I don't get it. The NFL's got some explaining to do.
Yeah, I mean, whether it comes from Payton or ownership, it doesn't really matter. Something, I don't know. You think it came from Sean Payton? Is he GM there? Does he have full control?
He's not.
He's got enough control, I'm sure.
Yeah. Who? I mean, he's definitely not GM, but I'm trying to figure out how much control he has. Right. I don't think he's got full control, no. No, it's been Patton. Yeah, Patton was named general manager of the Denver Broncos in 2021. I don't think he's got full control. What's weird though is Sean went along with this. You know, the fact that even if this came from above him, he was the one trying to also execute upon it. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Yeah, and Fractal, like I was saying, the reason that the Denver Broncos are just going to go downhill from here is, you know, you got to now fix this situation. What would have been beautiful, no offense, Bronco fans, I'm sorry. I'm not mad at any of you. I'm mad at Sean Payton. I'm mad at your organization for the way that you treated Russell Wilson. But I would say, like, how much more difficult would this situation be if after the fact the NFL comes in and goes, by the way, you're losing your 12 overall pick for a violation of the NFLPA, you know, rules and policies and regulations, and performing a potentially illegal act in forcing and extorting a player to remove pieces of their contract, or would suffer punishment and loss of playing time and game checks, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. Let's take away your 12 pick. Now they can't get their quarterback. Like, that's what they deserve. Denver, I'm sorry, Denver fans. You deserve, your team deserves that. You don't as a fan base, but your team does deserve that. It's despicable. But Denver now has this 12 pick. They need to grab a quarterback. I kind of feel like J.J. McCarthy goes to Denver, and I'm not huge on him. And I think this is fitting for the Denver Broncos to replace Russell Wilson with the quarterback I think is not better. And so $39 million fully guaranteed paid to Russell Wilson by the Denver Broncos this year, $35 million cap hit next year. I'm sorry, this year, and a $50 million cap hit next year. How are you going to build a team back from that? This little, we're going to do our best to build, what's this message say again? As we move forward, we are focused on building the strongest team possible for the 2024 season. Essentially saying we screwed up. Stand by. Please don't return your tickets. Please renew your season tickets. It's going to be a 3 or 4 win season. Maybe a couple years in a row before we get out of this mess. I just think that I don't think Bo Nix. I hope Bo Nix doesn't fall to Denver. I don't want him in that
He's the
trap.
one I keep thinking is going to end up there. I
don't
keep
want him
thinking he's going to end up there for some reason.
I don't want him in that trap. I don't want him there. I want someone to trade up and take him away. Take him away from Denver. I hope they draft J.J. McCarthy. I do, because I don't love J.J. McCarthy. He's decent. That's it. Put him in Denver, please. Put him in Denver, please. Trade up and take him, Denver. I hope Chicago gets Caleb, and I hope Denver gets J.J. McCarthy, because those are two places I don't want quarterbacks to go or stay, in Fields' case, and I don't love J.J., so put him in Denver. Don't put Nix or Penix Jr. there. If Penix Jr. goes to Denver, I'm going to be so pissed off.
I know.
I'm going to have to figure out a way to not be biased with it, but if I think he can somehow carry the team on his back, I don't know.
I know. I do want to see, Penix obviously, but I really would like to see Nix in a good spot and see what he can do in the NFL.
Yeah.
'Cause there's something there.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Maybe Danny Dimes to the Broncos. No, you can't. You can't get rid of the contract. The contract is not movable. They have an out next year, but this year it's not movable. It's like a
they would have
70.
had to trade like Russ for Danny Dimes straight up.
Well, even that doesn't really change anything. It's a $70 million dead cap hit for moving Danny Dimes, I believe. I believe that's the number, somewhere around that. So it's an impossible move. Danny Dimes is not getting traded. I know people have said that before. Broncos circling the 5-win season for at least 5 of the next 10 years. I wouldn't be shocked if they had that many bad years in a row. This is a derailing of your momentum. Sean Payton will not be the head coach there in 3 years. It might not be the head coach there in 2 years. Sean Payton is shiatted the bed. And I don't know that he's capable of bouncing back. J.J. McCarthy, number 1.
I think he probably sees that, and that's why he's going for a rookie, praying he can turn something around with a young quarterback.
Yeah.
That's his only hope.
I love you, Sick Nasty. We definitely disagree on J.J. McCarthy being the QB1. I love my boy Sick Nasty, though. No hard feelings there on the disagreement, but I 100% think he's not even he's barely, he's probably my 5. Would it take Rattler in the second? We would take Who's we? Who's we, Tyler? We would take Rattler in the second. Maybe Danny Dimes to Denver. Are you a Denver fan, Tyler? Rattler in the second? I hope not, because I don't want Rattler to struggle. I don't know. Dial in, guys.
Call into the show.
McCarthy didn't
Call
throw
into
that
the
great,
show.
right? Did we see him? I missed him. I just read a couple of things. But...
No, McCarthy didn't look bad at all. He didn't look bad at all. He looked okay. He did look. I would say he looked good.
Okay.
I'd say he looked, pretty good. But that was throwing. I mean, it's throwing at the. You know what I mean? It's not like it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. He's okay. He's a good quarterback. He's not great. Could he be? What?
No, sorry. Go ahead. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Trying to drink a full thing of this water per day. We'll see if I can do it. Yeah, like is JJ McCarthy, like, what's a comp for him?
I haven't seen a lot.
Let me get this call in here. 602 caller, who's this and where are you calling from, pal? 602 caller, you're live.
What's up, Smitty? This is Drew from Phoenix.
Drew from Phoenix.
I really like yes, sir.
What's
I
up?
really like the Russell to Atlanta, simply based off of his wife Sierra is from that area, and I could definitely see her swaying him.
You could definitely.
There.
Drew from Phoenix.
If anybody's gonna convince you to go to a certain team, it's gonna be your wife.
Maybe. I mean, it might be this imaginary friends. His imaginary friends, I heard, have a lot of pull. When he gathers them around and he goes, Blue 32, what do you guys think? Where do you want to play? And they're like, all of his fake high fives. I mean,
I definitely can see that as well. But
yeah.
if you wait, get a receiver in that first round, definitely a good situation for Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know everybody doesn't love him, but he's a million-mile upgrade over Ritter, and I'm not saying we have to just get an upgrade over Ritter. It's not all about Ritter. Ritter has nothing to do with this anymore. So I don't want to set a bar and say, as long as it's better than Ritter, like, we don't want that. We want the best possible scenario. I think Fields in a Dunze at 8, Fields using second rounders, maybe a conditional pick is the best scenario. But at the end of the day, if it's not going to be Fields, I don't want it to be Cousins in a Dunze as much as I want it to be Penix Jr. or Nix. Because I want a Dunze. I also don't really want a Dunze there for some reason. Like he could be the number 1 there. He could overtake London, and that's coming from a big London fan. He'll be the number 1 in Atlanta if a Dunze goes there. But I wouldn't mind a Dunze going somewhere else too, and keeping the London value and all that. So Penix Jr., Bo Nix, that's my second choice, one of those guys. My first choice would be Justin Fields. Russ is definitely in the, okay, well, if those things don't work out or you're worried about taking a quarterback at 8 and you want a Dunze, then I'm fine with Russell Wilson and a Dunze. I'm fine with Russell Wilson and any other piece you think you need defensively or whatever. I'm fine with that too. I've also told people I don't care what anybody thinks. You can say I'm an idiot all you want. I'd draft Brock Bowers and put him with Kyle Pitts and run the double tight end. I don't care. I love Brock Bowers that much. I do it live. I'd even trade Pitts if I needed to. But anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that either. But even if they wanted to draft a quarterback for the future and still get Russ for just this year and have him watch behind him, that always works out for him.
All right. Hey, I got to do a little sponsorship thing, so hang tight real quickly. Mute yourself.
No, you're good. I'll chime back in. Thank you.
Yeah, call back in. All right, mute yourself. All right, here's the moment I've been. Let me clear the screen here. Here's the moment I've been waiting for. So when your boy was exploring different avenues for the Boss Horn, this company and I were talking, And, and so we're going to talk about a little horn right now. And I'm not saying that this is here to stay on an everyday level or anything, but I want to test out the volume on this just because this is called the Loud Cup. The Loud Cup was gracious enough to send me, and I haven't tried it yet. I don't know how it's going to work. I've got different versions. They sent me a white. They sent me a black. And they sent me a red. I'm going to try the red out. Here's the box. There's a Loud Cup. We'll put it right here for the remainder of the show because they deserve some product placement for being so kind as to be a part of this show. And so essentially what this is, let me show you the table view here. The Loud Cup has this plastic piece, I believe. Yep. It's just a simple plastic piece that has, a side for you to drink out of and a side for you to create a sound out of. Let's see how this comes out. Yeah. So here's the container where you're going to wash this to keep this clean. This is where your liquid goes in. Your beverage of choice goes in. It's very simple. There's no holes in it. Nothing. You just pour the drink in there. This just looks like it's all made of plastic. Perps dropping $20 hollers. Perps, as soon as I'm done with this sponsorship, I'm gonna come to you. Okay. So this is just a single plastic piece, and it's built in a way that with all these pieces, these three pieces come together, it allows you to have a horn sound. Let's just go back. There you go. And then I believe this side goes over here, and that side goes over here. So you pour your beverage of choice in here, okay, after you clean this all out, put it in there, and when you're at your son or daughter's sporting event, or you're in the studio here, you essentially drink out of it, right? Tasty beverage, tasting good in my Loud Cup. Oh, my son scored a hoop. Take cup, twist it around this way, put mouth on horn, and blow. Is that loud? That's pretty awesome. I gotta admit, the Loud Cup. That's pretty killer. I don't know. Was that loud? Look, I'm not gonna be doing this like the boss horn. I don't want anybody to say, "Oh God, I'm out of here again." Smitty's gonna be blowing a horn every time someone super chats. I'm merely showing you this Loud Cup. It's something I'm gonna use at little Smitty's upcoming track and field events because she's doing track and field. Was that loud? Did anybody's ears hurt? Did their wives get mad? Smitty, I think you should also promote a fanny pack Loud Cup holder. Fractal, I'll let you take care of that. Was that loud? Travis?
It wasn't bad. No.
Did anybody get upset?
I don't think it was any louder really than you talking.
Okay.
I mean, it's a different sound. But...
So you basically just sip it. Oh, little Smitty scored a touchdown. Turn. Hey, Perps dropped a $20 holler. If part of me is like, if this isn't loud, it's too low. I like it. Does anybody have a problem with it? I mean, does anybody say, look, I have a feeling people just don't want weird, obnoxious noises. I don't think we could bring it back. But like it's like, this is pretty cool, especially when you treat it like you're out in the jungle or something and you're like, Perps drops a 20 and I go, But the best part is when you're sitting there with the Loud Cup at your sporting event and no one knows where the sound's coming from. You're taking a sip. You want to cover the Loud Cup logo, but you're taking a sip, and then your son or daughter scores, or maybe your kids bring it to school and they go, and then they just, I don't know what that was. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. That was you. What is that? It's a drink. Look. My liquid's in there. My water. My little water bottle. What are you talking about? Why are you blaming me? I didn't make any sounds. This water sure is tasty. I mean, maybe we bring this back for like a Bijan, like a certain player. You know, Bijan scores a touchdown. Or if somebody says Vikings, yeah, maybe JJ. Anything JJ related. It's just like JJ's looking so good. Loud Cup. Loud Cup. Get yours at the Loud Cup, I believe.com. Let's check out the website. Make sure it is the loudcup.com. Hold on. I don't want to send people the wrong way. The Loud Cup. Let's see here. Loudcup.com. Loud Cup. You don't have to put the in there. It's loudcup.com. It's called the Loud Cup, but just go to. Oh, wait, hold on. Is that the right website? Yes, it is. Go to loudcup.com. Loudcup.com. Get yourself a Loud Cup. Sip your beverage. Turn it. Make your sound. Spin beverage back and ask people, what was that sound? Wasn't me. Look, I've got my water inside mine. Wasn't me. Loudcup.com. Thank you. Okay, let's get to Perps' super chats because he dropped a few. Sick Nasty dropped this one. 2024 Silverado 1500. Nice job. That was Sick Nasty's new vehicle. Great job, bro. Congrats on the new whip. Smitty to Mars. Great content and putting in the OT work. Appreciate you. Thanks, Perps, for the $20 hauler. By the way, we got a new. Look, everyone's complaining about the boss horn being here. The boss horn gone. We got a new little thing. When someone drops, I think it's gonna be $100 or more, or 50, maybe a $50 hauler or more. Perps dropped over $50 right now, so Perps gets the first ever inaugurated $50+ hauler situation. Here we go. We got to go to the briefcase.
Alert. Super chat alert.
We got to go get it. Hold on. Perps. $50 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Thanks, Perps. Appreciate you dropping it. That's for the three. There he goes. Another $50 hauler. Thanks, Perps. Appreciate you. Perps also said, chat, go hit that like button. Please hit it. We can do better. Let's show Smitty how much we love this show and appreciate his hard work, top-notch content. And then Perps dropping another. Sounds like a kazoo. Talking about the Loud Cup. AKA Kitty Party Horn. It wasn't loud at all. I laughed my ass off. Reminding me of a childhood birthday party and Silly String. Thank you, Perps. Appreciate you. Vikings have a sound tougher and meaner than this horn. It sounds like a tugboat for sure. Karen activated. Oops, we just lost some people. Thank you, Perps. Appreciate you dropping every single one of these $20 haulers. Hopefully, the new unveiling of Cash Money dropping all over the place was good enough for you. The foghorn reminds me of standing in line to get... The thing is, the reason why I probably won't bring this in as a regular thing is because people are... I just don't even go near that situation again. You know, in terms of just having to dissect what is too much for people. Is it not so much about that it's even loud, but it's annoying and that, like, talking's okay like this, but then when someone's sitting by their missus and the way they watch the show and consume the show, that if there's this, even if it's soft and calm, their wife's looking at them and they're like, I'll turn it off. That was the problem I endured. And it wasn't like I agreed with it. It's just what people told me in droves. In droves. When I got rid of the Boss Horn, I had about 17 to 20 immediate, like within 24-hour messages from people I recognized. They weren't Karens really, but is it a Karen response? I felt like people that even said, I'm sorry, I'm a Karen here, but like this is my situation. I'm just glad it's gone. So anyway, what else you got, Travis?
I like the briefcase.
Yeah?
Nice little touch.
Yeah, buddy.
Makes it official. Just quickly as a Patriots fan, I think you probably still agree with me. Fields and Marvin Harrison is the best route for them and other teams as well. But if that's off the table, would you rather them, and say it's only Drake May, would you rather, like if you were a Pats fan or you're building the team, would you rather take Drake May and try for a nice draft, try to draft and get Brian Thomas Jr. in the second, back in the first or whatever too, and build something, or would you rather sign a Russell Wilson and take Marvin Harrison Jr. and go from there?
My preference is still going to be Washington, New England, trade for Justin Fields, draft Marvin Harrison Jr. If that doesn't happen, my second choice would be probably just take JD5. I don't know that I like Drake May over Russell Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. though. I will say that I'd rather have Russell Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. than to have Drake May. But I'd rather have JD5 and Leggett later.
Me too.
Yeah, that would be my order of preference.
I'm just curious about if it was like only May, where you would stand on that. Because I'm in the same boat where I'd roll the dice on Wilson if they're getting Marvin Harrison as well. So.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I like May's outlook. It's just I feel like there's a lot of risk there too. It could be awesome, but
I like him.
Just a little too much risk.
I just don't know.
I almost like the idea, but I don't know how they do it. I guess Marvin Harrison would be off the deal, but I almost like the idea of them trading back and taking Penix and then building and trying to get back in the first round and draft one of these receivers too. But I don't know if they could swing all that.
Yeah, I'd much rather find a way to get back into the first round, giving up future first rounder. Like if you believe Penix Jr. and Bo Nix is that guy, and you get Marvin Harrison Jr. in one of them, like I'd much rather try that. But getting another first rounder is easier said than done. But would a Las Vegas or like would Chicago even be tempted to trade that 9 pick for a future first and a second and more? I don't know.
What about what if they could get back in and they could take Penix and Brian Thomas Jr.? I really like him.
Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. is going to go high though. He's going to go high.
He's probably going to go too high at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well go after Penix Jr. and take Marvin Harrison at that point. But I mean, I like both those situations. All right, Travis. Appreciate you, man.
Alrighty.
We'll see you later, pal.
I'll see you later if you're on later tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll definitely be on doing another show later tonight. Probably be Dynasty, but we'll play it by ear.
All right,
later, bro.
Talk to you later.
We got Bruce calling in. Bruce, what's up, my guy? How you been?
What's up, Smitty?
What's up, pal?
I've been all right. Living the dream.
Living the dream. How you been? How you been?
I've been all right. Surviving.
Attaboy. Where do you think Russell Wilson goes, bro? Where does he land?
Atlanta. I say Atlanta.
You like that or no?
From a fantasy perspective, I love it. From a reality perspective, like in the NFL, no. And the fantasy is, I think he'll put London in like the DK time when he had DK. DK was really high.
Mm-hmm.
When he was, I think he could do that with London.
Yeah, I think he could do it. It's Cortland Sutton. I mean, there's definitely a lot that Russ could do. I know Russ isn't ideal. It's just he's another option. He's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to, is Russ and Adunze better than going one of the quarterbacks? I don't know. I mean, I'd rather have Penix Jr., I think, and Bo Nix, because I think they're difference makers and your team's already really good. Like, I'm not saying I don't want Adunze, but good God, man. I mean, you got a real good shot at being a deep playoff contending team just by adding Penix Jr. or Bo Nix and leaving everything else. So, and ultimately Fields and Adunze's better. Adunze at 8, trade for Fields using second rounders, and boom, that's the move. If it's me, I'm pouncing all over the Fields opportunity the moment I can, and I think teams will do that, but we don't know. You never know. It's always a shocker.
I watched something. It was on this Vikings channel. He says, we tried to get Fields, but, the Bears said they're not trading within the division, so we're out of the Fields thing.
Yeah.
So I had to ask you if that was true.
Yeah.
The Bears said, we ain't trading within the division, so you're out on Fields.
Yeah. Yep. Perps dropping another 20. This definitely completes him getting to the $100 hauler mark now. So Perps, appreciate you. Love the cash money case, making it rain. Don't worry, Smitty. We still support you with the Boss Horn decision. What's done is done. Don't sweat it. Had a boy. Appreciate you. Let's grow this thing. And now I got to fill it back up in case somebody drops another 20. Or basically, I think the nice little, I can maybe get multiple cases, but the nice thing that people will have is, like, if you make Smitty now pick up all the money, put it back in the case and redo it. not telling you, Perps. I'm saying if somebody else dropped 100, then I got to redo the whole thing.
I do have a question.
I need to get more stacks of it. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Bruce. I'm sorry.
About Chicago and the scenario that you said. 1 will pick Marvin Harrison, 9 will pick Adunze. What do you tell Fields then? All off season, the thing was, we're going to get rid of you. We're going to get rid of you. Oh wait, now we just got you weapons.
I mean, that's what I've told you guys all off season. It's a despicable display of I think, treating a quarterback like, hey, we're not going to publicly back you. We're going to continue to crap on you left and right. And, by saying, we're going to do what's right by him. Never once going, this is our quarterback. Until he's gone, he's our quarterback. And I'm not saying he's gone, but, like, we can win with Justin Fields. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. You don't hear anything. It's like, we got to do right by him. We'll make our decision. None of it's positive. You go back to Fields because you don't get done what you thought you could get done, which they will. Look, it's the first overall pick. They'll figure it out. Like, if they're going to go one way or another, they'll be able to trade that. But, like, if you don't get done the Fields trade and you don't get what you want, you're going to accept something at some point. But I think a team's going to be willing to give up something future as well, though. Like, if they don't get what they want to get done, they'll figure it out. They'll be able to make the move. I don't think they'll have to go, oh, good, we didn't get what we want. We better backtrack. We didn't get, oh, my God. Like, you'd almost make the draft selection, and if you got to trade Fields even later, you could. Like the Cardinals drafted Kyler Murray when they had Rosen still on the roster. And it definitely took a hit to the trade value of Rosen because you knew the hand that the Cardinals had. But at the same time, if the demand's still high, it doesn't matter. You can play your hand, show your hand, and still be able to trade him away.
Yeah, because I didn't know what Poles would have to do to, like, would he have to sit down and be like, oh, I'm sorry for what we did, and, like, sit there and have to apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. We shouldn't have done this.
Let me hit this 20 for Perps because I never hit it.
Alert. Super Chat alert.
Perps, appreciate you coming strong with the, I got $20 bills like in my hoodie. Appreciate you, Perps, for doing that, dropping wads. All right, Bruce, anything else? I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back for the Dynasty show. Make sure everybody follows all my channels. They're in the description of the video here. In every video, you're watching youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. The Dynasty channel is youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football, and the Rumble show is rumble.com/The Fantasy Football Show. We'll be live probably on, I'm going to try Rumble as well, but definitely the Dynasty channel. Anything else, Bruce?
Yeah, one last question is, the Vikings, because I'm a Vikings fan, they did their thing on Jaden Daniels, and JJ supposedly came out and said, the guy from that guy, I want him if I can't have Kirk. I guess the LSU connection? I don't know.
Say it one more time.
But they said there was an interview with JJ somewhere. I haven't seen it, but they said if I can't have Kirk, I want JD5, I guess the guy from LSU.
Yeah. But good luck. You got to trade up for that. I mean, how it's going to be near impossible, in my opinion, unless Washington or New England gets Fields in a trade. I'm sorry, Fields in a trade, or let's say they sign Cousins or something. Washington's not trading that 2 pick. They're taking JD5. Or May. And New England's not trading that pick, in my opinion, but you never know. It could Minnesota get the 3 pick and get JD5 maybe, but what if JD5 goes 2? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Russell Wilson in Minnesota seems kind of like something I can imagine.
I could imagine that too. I wouldn't. To me, he's like another stopgap, kind of like Cousins now. He's just going to be a stopgap if Cousins comes back.
All right.
All right.
All right, later, Bruce. Appreciate you. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you all tonight on the Dynasty channel, youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. Make sure you subscribe to that bad boy. The link's in the description. Appreciate every single one of you being here, doing it live. Go check out the Loud Cup, or go check out loudcup.com if you want to get yourself one of these bad boys. And you just, like I said, Loud Cup, it's got one compartment where the beverage goes. You sip it, and then when your kid scores a touchdown, or you just want to annoy somebody in your office, you go. Switch it back around and just sip it and go, I don't know what it was. I'm just drinking my drink. Look, there's liquid in there. It wasn't me. Wasn't me. See you all tonight. youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. Don't worry, the boss horn's not back. Everybody relax. Relax.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special message from the Bruce's mother.
Get Bijan.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring touchdowns.
See you guys live tonight. Don't forget that link's in the description. Dynasty Fantasy Football, youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football, and then the Rumble channel. Get on both of those. Don't miss a show. Don't forget, I also put when I'm going live on my Instagram stories. every time I'm going live. So make sure you're subscribed to my IG and you have notifications on, because you'll get an alert whenever I'm live. Later.